educational thing. Lucid dreaming is a very powerful tool. So I recommend that highly. I also recommend we was talking about being fluid. It's also about finding your authentic self. All of you out here and all of us up here are listening to each other and to listening to you, and you're listening to us, and you're all trying to figure out who you are. We all are. We're all still doing that. There isn't any of us here that aren't still trying to figure out what we're actually doing. We just know we're doing it. You guys are doing it by sitting here. Being in your authentic self is one of the most powerful tools that you can use. Much like a couple people up here were just talking about. Whether we're talking in politics, we're talking in spiritual work, it doesn't really matter. Authentic self. So somebody come up to you and say, you know what, gee, that stuff that you talk about over there, that UFO stuff, that's just crazy. And you know, a lot of times people will go, and they be quiet. Don't be quiet anymore. Say, well, you know, it works for me. You don't have to get negative. You don't have to get defensive. You can just say it works for me. Much like what Carrie was talking about. We just have to find our authentic self. Be part of the shift. Be part of the shift by being fluid. Because what works today, folks, may not work even later today. That's how quickly it will change. And the less you are rooted into some kind of reality that it has to go A, B, C, D, the easier it is for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Okay, fine. George Green. We're going to take Bob Dean last for some reason. Bill would like us to do that. But that's because he's our elder statesman. And so, George Green, go ahead.
The message that I have, everybody should stay in the observer mode of this huge play. The observer mode is the indication you recognize the play is going on. Don't buy into the drama. Discern it for yourself. Take on your responsibility for understanding, as we said, and discernment. But observer mode is the key with all the chaos around, and it's going to be very hard to do that. My suggestion is to get with other peoples of like minds to support each other, because that's going to be the key in the days ahead as we get instructions. You agree? I agree. Well, I'm going to pass it on.
Thank you, George Green. Thank you. Miriam Delicato.
After listening to everyone, I can just say, wow. If you all want to know what to do, this panel just put together the biggest paradigm I think I've heard, so clear, so concise, so focused. You know, I always talk about what's going on in my personal life because I want to share with you that I have extraordinary experiences and that I'm still living this normal life, so I understand. Again, going back to this, what this shift is, what's going on. There's this time that we're moving into that's really confusing, and so absolutely education is one of the key factors in that. But when things get really rough and the people around you are breaking down and your world is changing faster than you can keep up, which recently happened to me, I went back to a list that was given to me by these ETs, and it kind of pulled me back out of it with a little help from Carrie and Bill in their support. But they said, do not allow yourself to be distracted. And what they mean by that is focus on educating yourself. Don't be distracted by, as it was just stated, to allow people to judge you and you fall back into being quiet. Stay focused on who you are within yourself. And these distractions are there to pull us off course and stop this shift from happening in the right way. So don't allow yourself to be distracted. Find that core belief that you have within yourself, because not everything that you hear from all of us is going to resonate with each and every one of you. So take what it is that you're hearing and hold that as your belief And if you find that you're having difficulty, go back to who you are, not what someone's told you, not what you've learned in a classroom, not what you've read, but what you yourself as the person believes or knows. And it doesn't matter what's going to happen tomorrow, because we're all in this moment today, and it's this time where we need to stay focused that, yes, I totally agree that we could change any minute. And I'm kind of bouncing back to that because I think that out of all of the statements that were just made, that I'm just, wow, that was incredible. And Curie saying forgiveness, because if we can't forgive each other and if we can't work together without that ego that I was talking about, we are not going to get through this. So stay focused on your path. If you are feeling a calling to take action in some way, and it's in a positive way that's going to benefit the people in your life and in your world, start acting on it, because we're moving out of the time of being able to be passive. We need to step forward and take action in a positive, heartfelt way. Thank you.
Thank you, Miriam. Well said. Bob Dean, and I'm afraid we're going to have to wrap this up right after Bob, but I would have loved to had a conversation, get some people up here to ask questions, to talk themselves about their experiences. If there's more time in the body of the conference today and tomorrow, we will do that. Bob, go ahead.
I have to go to the men's room. I'm sorry. There's not a hell of a lot I can add to what has already been said. I find myself agreeing with practically everything these people have said. The only thing I wish to add is that it strikes me that there's not a damn thing we've said up here today or tomorrow that you people don't already know deep in your hearts and minds. You know that deep in your heart, because you wouldn't be here if you weren't aware of the things we've been talking about. A transition is underway, a transcendent transformation of the human race. It's been underway for a number of years. It's going to intensify terribly in the next few years. But I want to just leave this with you. We have some good friends in high places. No pun intended. We are being nurtured and guided and instructed and assisted in this transformation that we are going through. So feel good about that. You're all going to make it. And as I said in Spain here at the end of July, your children and your grandchildren are going to the stars. Don't you ever doubt that. And I feel nothing but hope for the future of the human race. And I can't say too much because then I'll get into my presentation, which I'm supposed to give in another 2 hours. So thank you all.
Thank you, Bob. I guess the overall message is stay tuned. And pun intended. Okay, thank you very much. We're going to go with Marcia Schaefer. She's going to be presenting just shortly. We probably have time for a 5-minute break here, so if you want to, we're going to have to set her up for a second here, so we'll see how that goes.
I thought it was about 2:30. Okay. Hey, that was fun.
Yes, you did.
That was surprisingly effective, actually.
Anytime, whenever we see each other, just grab me. It's just going to be very important.
Grab you?
I'll just grab you. I get to grab you.
Grab me?
I am.
Yeah, I've been talking to you. Okay, I need to make sure